Hey, Dad.
Hey, Kath.
Today's question is going to be, who was the most important person in your business life? Who did you work with that made you want to do this with your life? And what can you tell me about him or her?
Well, there's been a lot of people over the time, right, that have been important. The success of this business is in understanding the, not just the people relationships, but the actual understanding the money, right, of how to run a business with the dollars. So I guess my mentor in money would have been a fellow by the name of Stan Downs. No, that's not right. Stan is the wrong name. Goes back a long time, right? Philip Downs.
Philip
Right?
Downs.
Yeah, Philip Downs. Stan was another guy that mentored a little bit, but not a lot. That was a Stan Wright. But, that's a totally different story, right? It has nothing to do with this industry, right? Anyway, Philip right, Downs was an accountant, and he was the company accountant, and he.
Roughly when?
Oh, goodness gracious, this goes back when I was first learning to do bookkeeping and doing that. I did a correspondence course. I think I was in grade 9 or 10, so I was 15 or 16 years old.
Okay.
When I was first learning to understand dollars. And it was partly because Robert's mother, who was the bookkeeper, did the books, but she had a hard time in getting the trial balances to balance properly. In the olden days, when you did a book manually, you had these long ledgers and you had all these columns where you put your expenses, just like a spreadsheet. Actually, that's where the spreadsheets came from that we use, like the Excel spreadsheets that we use. So basically what happened is that she could write the numbers in, right, but then you'd have to balance them and get the columns to match the overall, and it's just like doing a balance cash out, same kind of thing. And then
But without a computer.
Without a computer, yeah, and with actually sometimes, right, the calculator even wasn't that good, to say the truth, but we always had originally started with one of the pole calculators, believe it or not, back in the day.
I believe it.
Right, and then we got all modernized, right, got rid of the manual typewriters too back in the day. Anyway, Philip, all right, he took a shine to me, and we would do spot inventory checks. Back in those days, we also were financing. You could finance your inventory through the banks. They would support you, but they also wanted you to be audited to make sure that you actually had the inventory you said by an accountant. So anyway, he took this in, right, and when we were doing inventories, he would say to me different things, about money, about how money works, about the loan, sort of like if you take and you invert a mortgage, right, and you think that, okay, I'm going to pay off a mortgage, you get to your first years, right, your first 5 years, your 25-year mortgage, it looks like it's going nowhere. Right, when you get to your last 5 years, I mean, the whole thing goes away and it's gone, right, so quickly. And building a company is exactly the backwards. There's books called Tipping Point and that kind of stuff that talk about this thing anyway. But he was the first person who actually explained to me that there's tipping points, right, in it. And the trick to being successful is to be able to monitor where these tipping points are and get ahead of the curve if you can. Yeah, so a lot of that mentoring through Philip, right? I still remember him. He was kind of a fun guy.
Good.
Okay.
See you next week.
Alrighty.